Well, welcome to the February Bulblog video diary garden walk. I'm sure there's a lot of you been having the same experience. The weather's been strange with us, very wet, very windy, with interludes of snow and frost. But despite all of that, the garden's starting to waken up. The plants are responding, the early bulbs, snowdrop, the Eranthis and the Crocus, among others. You can also see this, also some iris out here, the wee reticulate iris. The nice green growth from some of the primroses, the primulas, pushing through as well. Won't be long before it's in flower, but perhaps it's the snowdrops and the snowflakes. So the Galanthus and the Leucojum, that's the most eye-catching at the moment, or in most profusion, let's say that way. So we've got all sorts of things. As the snowdrops are not generally named in our garden because I don't keep the labels, as regular watchers and readers of my bulblog will know. But this is one nice little one with a Scottish connection, because it was found by Elizabeth Harrison and was named. So it's Galanthus Warrenoi Elizabeth Harrison, and it was, as far as I know, the first yellow Galanthus Warrenoi to be named. Just behind it here I see one of the, just coming up, here's another Galanthus Warrenoi with little green tips on the outside. So for you Galanthus lovers, that's about as far as my naming of the Galanthus as we go around. We're just going to enjoy the spectacle that they provide in the garden. Talking of the spectacle, right down here beside me, if I can manoeuvre enough to get this in view, cyclamen comb growing beautifully in this little miniature sand bed, which is now, should probably be called the moss bed, because it's absolutely covered in moss, and the moss is a favourite. You can see the wee cyclamen seedlings everywhere. As I poke down in there, the seedlings are all through. There's masses of them. And this has been the most successful area in our garden to grow this cyclamen comb. There's a whole range, there's other bulbs and plants in there as well. But it is a pretty little thing. Very artificial in its rectangular shape. But there's a history behind that, and that it used to be a wooden frame, platform frame that I had there to hold some of the small bonfires, and it eventually collapsed. So this little bed had to follow its footprint because there was another acer in there, but the garden's developed around it, so this kind of looks odd out of place. Maybe one day I'll slightly change it and landscape it in a wee bit better. Down here at the moment we've got other things. I've got pots of seedlings to plant around the garden, all sorts of the herbaceous and perennials, mostly common, nothing rare. Round here we've got some more snowdrops. This one's catching the sunshine. A nice one of the yellow marked ones. And there's another few down here. A lot of these came from Brechin Castle. Either directly where we got them there ourselves, or through Ian Christie, our friend and great knowledgeable Galanthophy this bulb bed, the cobble bed, I'll have to do something with the moss. I don't want this to become a moss bed. But the moss is just growing everywhere at the moment, even on the paths. And from here we've got the yellow river rises of Eranthis and flows out there. I do find with the Eranthis that you really need to let them seed. You can see all the seedlings down there. Because there is a danger, the original area where they grew, they're not so much there now. They've moved out, they spread. A lot of these plants like to move territory. They don't like to stay in a single spot all the time. Some do it by runners, some do it by continually seeding. And it's the nature of many woodland plants, and when you think of an expanding canopy above, they're constantly having to move to escape out of the edge of that canopy to find some light, because the light is shaded, but also the rain shadow a tree canopy casts as well, so they're moving out to moisture and light. So we have to accommodate that in the garden and allow them to do it. It's nature's process. I was just doing a preliminary clip just before I picked up the camera on some of the bonsais. It's a good time just to give them a preliminary, very quick clip. I'll tidy them a bit more later, but just give them a bit of a clip so the energy goes into making the new growths that I want. As you can see, it's a sunny day. They're threatening that we will get temperatures up to 10 degrees later, which will be enough to open the Eranthis and snowdrops. More little snowdrops here. A lot of these little ones are from Anne Wright's Dryad Gold series. We've got a number of them. Don't ask me which ones they are, because as I say, I don't keep the labels, and I would have to go look at my photographic records and to check on them. And up here we've got the little narcissus, and this is Eranthis Guinea Gold. I use Guinea Gold, which is a selection and a hybrid, because it doesn't set seed. So I use it where I don't want it to be seeding around so freely. Wee Narcissus Hadrianthus, not Hadrianthus, Asturiensis, beg your pardon. And the Primula marginatus, buds starting to expand. So we're going to come round here. And up here we've got Crocus albantensis. Has been out for a wee bit. Well, it's been trying to come out, but with the rain it just glues the petals together and they fuse and they can't open in the sunshine. But it's a shame, because it's a beautiful little crocus, but we do get a sort of effect. Up here, the saxifrages, I can see the buds coming. Won't be long before their flowers open. Still a lot of things to tidy up, but there's a lot of signs of things starting to waken up. Plant rosettes pushing out, looking a bit greener, like they're keen and anxious to grow. It might be premature because we've got more winter to come. We can have snow and sleet and hail for some months yet. But you can see all the Eranthis seedlings. And there is often the worry that these little seedlings, if you leave the leaves, they won't be able to push through the mulch, but that's a false worry, because you'll find that they actually come through perfectly easily, and in fact they like that leafy mulch on top of them. They'll grow better. We're just going to come round here. Here we have a Leucojums. He's lovely. This is the ones with the yellowish tinge, so Carpathicums. Crocus vernum carpathicum. There's some wee Galanthus Florinoi, I think that's from the leaves. And look at all the wee seedlings here again, seeding around. Crocus seedlings, these Corydallis seedlings. So once you seed the garden in the first place and get it going and allow it to seed, nature and the plants will take over if you let them. And I'm sure if I poke about in the centre of this cyclamen here, there we go, yep, I'll find masses of seedlings where the seed pod fell. And if I need more, I can just go in there and carefully lift them and plant them where I want them to grow. It'll be the same in here. Masses of seedlings trying to get up through the parent foliage because the seeds just shed from the capsule. Round here, no. There's more of the, this is more of Dryad Gold series. Slightly different ones. And then some of the just the ordinary crocus. So we just got the Tommy's Crocus thomasinianus and the Eranthis forms and hybrids. Up in this bed we've got a mixture of Leucojum. So another carpathicum with the yellowish tinge. So very different, the snowflake. I actually like the snowflakes. I like the Leucojum almost better than the snowdrops. Got a lot going on there. I see the buds of the Fritillaria imperialis coming through. Some of the early daffodil. This has only got 3 flowers on this year now. This is one of those things. I looked at this clump of Narcissus hispanicus last year and thought I must split that because it's going, the flowering's getting more and more leaves and not flowers. A sure sign that the bulbs are a bit too congested, and so I really must dig that up and split it a bit. And I'd like to do that to quite a number of these snowdrops as well. All sorts of seedlings in here, Corydallis, Eranthis seeding through the mulch here. Yet more snowdrops. All different forms. I suppose somebody with the knowledge of snowdrops, or it would be a good tester for the people that think they know the snowdrops to come here and see, can you put names on all these? Because there is a lot of forms that had names. We Xylus pushing up. And the iris is there, Iris Catherine Hodgkin around here. More of the Dryad Gold. What I do when we get new plants is I will plant them out in many different spots in the garden. Not so much as a clump, but I'll plant singles out and see, because you will find that there's plants will have favourite spots. And this is the thing, if you allow them to self-seed, they'll find their favourite spot. And that's the case like over here, growing in the sand plunge with the Erythronium, Iris Catherine Hodgkins. That's one of its favourite spots. And of course it comes so way earlier than any of the Erythroniums, so they don't compete in any way. These Eranthis coming out into the path. I like it, but I don't think I can let them go all the way because this path gets heavily covered in leaves. And this is also the path I use to take my shredder up and down, so I don't want to let them get too much in between the slabs here. Oh, hey. Mandragora. Just noticed that's coming through. Beautiful. Just pushed through and the flower's opening. Just enough bit of sun. And there's leucojums here as well. But these are just the straight leucojums. Leucojum vernum with the green tips. Although there is some in here as well. They're not up because they come a wee bit later that have yellow ovaries. There's a lot more to come up in here. I mean, it is early in the garden for us up this far north. There's always a sign that the birds are digging in the mulch. But this is how I like my snowdrops. These were split and just recently planted out as singles. And that's what I like to see, rather than the great big clumps, which, impressive though they can be, are not my favourite way to see them. And indeed not even how you would necessarily see them growing in the wild. So the pond up, the bed up by the pond is in the shade, so it's a bit behind everything else. But so much to come. You've got all the Narcissus cyclamineus, all these seedling leaves. There's Erythronium sibiricums. There's more Eranthis. There's Crocus. I can see an iris there. And this down here, oh, something snapped it. This was my wee Eranthis pinnatifida. There's more in here. But that was the only one that flowered this year, and I was hoping to get seed. I carefully fertilised it, but something's had the seed pod. Something's eaten it off. Well, I suppose that's sad and disappointing. But as a gardener, these are things you just learn to have to accept. Another chance next year. Oh, I'm just poking here. Amazing what you find as you just walk round and look. This time of year, some of the hamamelis flowers just starting to open. Up here, the snowdrops up here in the deep shade come a bit later, and also a lot of the nivalis forms come later. And so as I move round, I'm going to finish off in a minute, but as we come round back into this bit, we'll come into a bit of sunshine. It's not yet warm enough for all the Crocus thomasinianus that are down here to open yet. But in the sunnier parts of the garden, there are. These are all seeded out. You've got snowdrops, Crocus thomasinianus seeding out. The hellebores have seeded out from the bed. A lot of leaves from the colchicum. The Salmisias from New Zealand. Salmisia lili. Excuse me. And the snow drops up the path, so it's, as I say, it's early in the garden. It's just waking up. But it won't be long before there's a lot more. So that's just a wee walk to show you what we've got in February. I suspect the next video will have an awful lot more garden colour out by that time, so I think I've yattered on for long enough. Thanks for joining me if you've stayed this long, and I look forward to you joining me the next time. So thank you, enjoy the spring in your garden and in the nature around where you live. Bye for now.